To solve that equation, I will first try to factor, but I'd find that I'm unable to factor, and so I will use the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula says that x equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. And here a equals 1, since we have 1 times x squared. B equals negative 2, since we have negative 2 times x. And c equals the remaining term, which is negative 4. Substituting, I have x equals the opposite of b, the opposite of negative 2, plus or minus the square root of negative 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 4. Substituting 1 for a and negative 4 for c, all over 2 times a, or 2 times 1. Now I need to simplify. I simplify by taking the opposite of negative 2, which is 2, plus or minus the square root of negative 2 squared is 4, minus 4 times 1 times negative 4 is negative 16. And that's all over 2 times 1. I can simplify by adding inside of the radical sign. I have x equals 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 plus 16, or 20, divided by 2. And I can simplify even further because I can simplify the square root of 20. The square root of 20 is the square root of 4 times the square root of 5. I can write that, see that more clearly. If I factor 20 as 4 times 5 over 2. And then I have that x equals 2 plus or minus the square root of 4, which is 2, times the square root of 5, all divided by 2. Now I'm almost finished. Since I can factor a 2 out of each term in the numerator, I'll be able to simplify just a little further. I have x equals 2 plus or minus 2 times the square root of 5 over 2. And I factor out a 2 in the numerator. So I have 2 times 1 plus or minus the square root of 5 all over 2. The 2 over 2 now can cancel because the numerator is factored. And I can write that x equals 1 plus or minus the square root of 5. We were asked to solve the system just for x, so we don't have to substitute back in and find y. So we could say, in this system, x is 1 plus or minus the square root of 5.